Good morning and welcome to Maximizing YouTube for Instruction, presented by the Technology Training Team. Today we will be using WebEx to present the webinar. Just to go over some of WebEx's tools before we get started, video cameras are not required for this session, so if you'd like to turn your video camera off, select the video camera and turn it red. We also ask that you leave your microphones muted throughout the session today. We will have the chat window open for all your questions, so please remember to stay muted. And you know you are muted because your microphone will be turned red. Please find the chat window on your WebEx toolbar. You'll see the chat window by that speech bubble icon. And over on the chat window screen, you'll just type in your message, question or comment, and then select enter. At any time, if you'd like to leave today's WebEx session, you'll select exit WebEx by selecting the red X. And note this session is being recorded. A recording will be posted on the remote teaching site later this week. And again, thank you so much for joining us for Maximizing YouTube for Instruction, presented by the Technology Training Team. For all your remote teaching needs, please visit bit.ly/pjcps remote teaching. We are your hosts today. My name is Clarissa, and I am joined here with Ronlyn, Marianne, Sarah, and Jake as we go over how to maximize YouTube for instruction. So what is YouTube? Where do we get started? So YouTube is actually like a cousin to the Google Suite for Education. It wasn't originally owned by Google, and it was purchased by Google later on. So you will find that you have actual YouTube accounts just by being part of the Google Suite for Education domain. And on YouTube, as you may be familiar with watching videos and listening to music, but one thing we're going to look at today is how to upload your own original content, as we've been creating content throughout this distance learning journey. And one really great piece about YouTube is that you can share it with your friends and your family and anyone around the world if you choose. And we're really going to look into ways to use it in Google Classroom or in Classroom in general. So using existing videos as resources for your students and yourself, creating your own playlist, and then uploading that video content. So some key vocabulary we're going to look at as before we get started in diving in is these three words: channel, subscription. So channel is your main piece of your YouTube. It's your identity, where you're going to upload your content to. And being part of the PGCPS domain, everyone has their own YouTube channel. The other piece you're going to find, which might be really helpful to you, is playlists. So playlists are these collection of videos that you can save and share with others. So we're going to show you how you can use these playlists in your instruction. And then the last big piece of the vocabulary here is subscriptions. So you actually can subscribe to any channel that you feel is important to you or is a favorite of yours. And when you subscribe, you'll actually receive notifications when new content is uploaded.
Sorry, I had a problem unmuting myself. So where to start? We talked about, Clarissa just shared with you about channel, playlist, and subscriptions. Now I'll be talking to you about how to subscribe to a channel, creating a playlist, how to create a channel, uploading videos, and editing captions. So on this presentation, we have some screenshots and some directions for you, but I will be showing you as well live here in YouTube as well. So subscribing to a channel, so anytime you're in YouTube, any channel that you go to, you'll see that red subscribe button, and all you have to do is click subscribe. Also make sure that you're signed in. So here I'm in YouTube, and I'm trying to find a specific person that I want to look for. So a popular ed tech guru is Alice Keeler. So here I searched it in the search bar within YouTube. And you can see at the top here it says Alice Keeler, and then there's a bunch of videos. You know it is a channel when you see their profile picture, their account, their channel name, and this is a subscribe button. So I can go ahead and click subscribe here if I wanted to, or if I was browsing through videos and I fell upon her channel, sorry, that automatically plays when you go to their channel. You could also see the subscribe button here as well. So I really want to follow her and subscribe so I could see any videos or updates that she has. So I'll click here, subscribe. And you can see here on the left under subscriptions, Alice Keeler is now under my subscriptions list. So here are all of my subscriptions. And also another way to look at your subscription is right here on the top left under home and trending, you'll see the third option, subscriptions. I'm going to click on that and you can see all of the channels that I am subscribed to. And you can also change it from grid view to list view here on the top right. And you can also manage your subscriptions. So if I click manage, and you can see that I'm already subscribed, it's grayed out. And anytime you see the bell buttons on the right side, you could just change what kind of notifications that you want. You can have all the notifications, a personalized notification, or no notifications at all. It's just a pop-up for you when you're on here to let you know that there is something new or there's new content. So that is subscribing to a channel. And also T3 has their very own channel as well. So here's my shameless plug. Go subscribe for T3. The next thing I'm going to talk about is creating a playlist. So playlists are really good where you can have a collection of videos that you want to put together, and then you can share a link of that playlist with your students or whoever you're sharing it with. So in this slide, we have step-by-step directions and a video for you to follow, but of course, I'll be showing you here live. So I'm going to go back to my YouTube. I'm going to go back to home so I can show where I'm starting from. And I wanted to create a playlist of, a playlist of digital citizenship videos that I want to share with my students. So here, I'm going to search digital citizenship and I'm going to click on it. And I can browse and take a look at all the different videos that I want to include in my playlist. So here is a video that I really like. It says, what is digital citizenship? And I'm going to click on it. Pause here. And then I can see here, there are different icons where you see the like, the dislike, the share button, but right next to it is the 3 lines and a plus. That means that is the icon for playlist. So when I click on it, this will pop up. I have already created some playlists, or I could create my own playlist from scratch right here. So this one's going to be for my digital citizenship. I'm going to click create new playlist. And it's going to ask you to name it. So I'm going to name this digital citizenship. And below I can choose the privacy where it can be public. So anyone who goes to my channel can see the playlist that I've created. I also have unlisted where no one can search for it, but if I can share the link with anyone who I want to share it with, and they can see the playlist. And the last one is private, for it's only for myself and no one else can see it. Because I'm sharing this with my students and I don't really have any followers on my channel, I'm going to choose unlisted. And then I'll click create. And you'll see the pop on the bottom says added to digital citizenship. I'm just going to click here again. And you can see that this is already checked off. And you can also have it in multiple playlists as well. So I have here digital citizenship. I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back and add another video to my playlist. Another one is the one that I've already looked at, being a good digital citizen. So instead of me going ahead and clicking on it, I'm going to go ahead and click on it, sorry, pause, and go back here again, click on my playlist icon, and instead of me creating, I'm going to add it to this list. I'll click check, and now it's been added. And then I can close out of that. So that is how we can add to a playlist, creating a playlist, and adding to an existing playlist. I'm going to add one more just to show as an example that not everything can be added to a playlist. There we go. We, the digital citizens. I'm just going to show here, clicking on it.
Technology has changed the world. It's the internet.
There you go. So this is a really good video through Common Sense Education. They talk a lot about digital citizenship and safety for students. But you'll notice here when you see the playlist and I click on it, it says this action is turned off for content made for kids. So please be mindful that certain things have been marked as for kids, and anything that's marked for kids cannot be added to a playlist. And you can always learn more about it by clicking on Learn More. And it explains what happens. Anything that's made for kids content, it prevents kids from seeing certain types of ads and comments and membership and all those kinds of things. There's a long list explaining it, but just be mindful that there's certain things that cannot be added to a playlist. I'm gonna go into my account and I'm gonna see the 3 lines, and you can see here is my playlist as a shortcut to go straight to it. So I'm gonna go to my digital citizenship, and you can see that I have 2 videos that I've added to my playlist. You can still edit your playlist by changing the title of it, adding a description to it, but because mine is unlisted, the main thing is I want to be able to share it with my students. So I can click share here, and you can just copy and paste this link and share it to your students in Google Classroom or however you want to share it. So that is creating a playlist and being able to share it with your students. Go back here. The next thing I'm not going to be able to demonstrate with you is because I already have an account created, but we have directions here for you on how to create a channel. When you log into your PGCPS account, you can go in your email, click on the apps launcher, and select YouTube. Then follow the prompts to set up your channel. So it will have some questions for you or things for you to select from, and that's how you will create your channel. And we created a short GIF here that just repeats over and over on how to get to it. So the next part I'm going to be talking about is uploading videos. So the next few slides show step-by-step on how to upload the videos, but I'm going to show you here live within my YouTube account. So I'm going to go back to YouTube. And anytime you are signed in or anywhere within YouTube, you'll always see this icon on the top right. It's a little camera with the plus sign. This is where you can create a video or a post. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And I have an option to go live or upload video. And I'll be doing upload video. I'm going to click on that. And it's going to take me to my my own YouTube channel's studio, and where I can start drag and drop or select files from my computer. So I have a video here that I created on Screencastify on my computer, and I can drag and drop it. You also have the option to select files and browse through your files. Once I has uploaded it, there are 3 parts to uploading your video. The first one is details. I'm just going to show here. There are 3 main things to look at when you're in details. Adding a title, selecting an audience, and adjust comments and ratings. So I'm going to go back here. So the first thing required, of course, is the title. It automatically took the name of my video, so I can say verb lesson, and then add whatever I want. There is the option for description and to do thumbnails. There's many different types of things that you can add here. A playlist. But the next one that's required, of course, is yes, it's made for kids. No, it's not made for kids. Just as a reminder that if you do yes, it's made for kids, it cannot be added to a playlist. But you can say no, it's not made for kids. This is mostly for when they have a special app called YouTube Kids, and being able to filter that. That's what it's for. For this moment, I'm going to say not made for kids, and I'm also making sure this is not listed, which I'll explain in a moment. And of course, there's a million more other options. I'm going to click more options. You can browse through those, but the last one that's most important is looking at comments and ratings. So if you decide to make this a public video, you have a choice to control the comments. So I'm going to click here. You have an option to allow all comments, hold potentially inappropriate comments for review, hold all comments for review, or disable comments altogether. So just be mindful of what settings you want when it comes to comments, and if you decide to make your video public. So I'm just going to do disable comments for now. Once you've gone through all the details, you go ahead and click next. And the second option is video elements. This is more of an advanced feature where if your videos are public, you notice those famous YouTubers, they have things that pop up on your screen while you're watching, and sometimes they want to promote something or send you a link to somewhere else. This is what video elements are. I'm not going to be using this, so I'll go ahead and click next. And the last thing that's important is visibility. This is where how you want your videos to be shared or posted on YouTube. You have the option for private where it's only for you. Some people use this as a storage because videos do take up storage on your device. So you could store it on YouTube and choose as private. The most popular one to use is unlisted, where you can have it posted on your channel, but no one else can see it unless they have a link to it. And the last one, of course, is public, where anyone can see it as long as they go to your channel or they search it, they can find it. For this example, I will do unlisted. There's additional options for scheduling, and I'll click save. Now my video is very short, so it doesn't take very long to upload. But the longer your video is, the longer it takes. But even though you've completed all of the 3 steps to uploading your video, you can go out of it and go back to it and give it some time to process. So automatically, it's going to give me ways to share my video. And just be mindful when sharing. You'll notice here, this is called a YouTube shortened link. So it says youtube.be. I highly recommend not to share this link because sometimes it is blocked on our network. So make sure you get a full link. So I'll show you where that is. Close. Here is my video. When you see this YouTube icon, that means you're going to view it within YouTube, what it will look like. Go here, click pause. Again, also you can get the share button here, and it gives you that shortened link again. But to share with your students, we recommend getting the link all the way here at the top of your address bar because it doesn't have that dot in the middle of it. This is the full link. We prefer you to use this. That way it wouldn't get blocked from our network. So make sure you use that. So we talked about the details, the video elements when uploading your video, and the visibility when uploading your videos. And also as a reminder that the longer your video is, it takes a lot more time to process, but you can always look back on your channel to see when it's fully processed. You don't have to stay on that screen. So the last thing is editing captions and subtitles. It's going to go back here to my channel. From under my videos, I have 2 videos uploaded here. You can also go in and put in your own captions and subtitles. I highly recommend that you wait and be patient because Google will automatically put captions and generate it themselves. And you can go back in yourself to make any adjustments in case you said something that the computer did not pick up and it just said a different word. You can go in and edit that. This is a video that I've already put up a while ago, but I'm just going to show you because this is brand new, so the captions will not show up yet. So I'll click this one. So you can see, oops, sorry, pause here for a minute. You'll see here's an option for CC, which is closed captions, and you'll see that it's auto-generated in English. And I'm going to let it play, but I'll keep the sound off, and you'll see that as I'm talking, you'll see there's captions at the bottom. So I recommend that you let the YouTube do the auto-generated so that you don't have to go in and type in everything that you say in the video. And I'll go back here under video details. Sorry, let me go back one more step so you know where I am. So where you see the videos that you have uploaded, you can click the pencil for details, and you have more options at the top. When you scroll a bit, you can upload your own subtitles or closed caption, or manage your own subtitles yourself. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it already it's starting to work its magic and generate the captions for you. And you can add it yourself by clicking add. And this one's going to be from scratch. So if I try on Scribe here, I can type in right here whatever I'm saying throughout the entire video. So this one does take more time, and I don't really recommend doing this unless you have the time to type in all of the words that you're saying. Okay. And I'll pause here. Are there any questions in the chat while we do a transition?
All right, Marianne, I'm not seeing many questions other than the ads, which we're about to cover in the next section. So at this point, if you want to pass the ball over to me, I will happily take it.
There we go.
Great, thank you so much. All right, so hello everyone. If you have any questions, then again, please feel free to drop them in the chat and we will answer them as we see them. So we're going on to the next section of the presentation. So this is about limiting student view, and I saw that many of you had questions about ads and how to limit the ads that your students see. So this section will tell you about a few ways that you can combat that. So take this as a buffet. So, you don't have to do all of these different things. You could just pick the one that works for you. So just think of it that way. So we'll be looking at a few of these different steps, and you can select which one you would like to use, if any at all. So YouTube, as Marianne has shown you, is a very powerful tool, but it potentially can include some distractions such as inappropriate videos, ads, comments, things of that nature, recommended, suggested videos, liking and subscribing. So we're going to look at a couple tools today that will help you maximize the use of your YouTube videos by minimizing these distractions. So there's two tools. One of them is called Safe YouTube, and it's web-based. The other one is a Chrome extension. So if my colleague Ronlyn were here, then she would say that extensions, they work on top of your Google Chrome internet browser. She was saying that, just like extensions in your hair, they leave your regular hair alone. Your YouTube Chrome extensions would go on top of your browser, and it wouldn't really do anything to the site itself that you were looking at, but it would help you augment it. So we'll be looking at a Chrome extension. So if some of you are Chrome extension users, then we'll show you that. Or maybe you will become a Chrome extension user after you learn about this new tool. And we're also going to look at how you can post YouTube videos to your Google Classroom. So, and I see that Ronlyn is here. So hi, Ronlyn. So the very first thing is limiting student view. So there is a website called safeyoutube.net. So I'll explain it before we jump in, but what you will do is to visit this website, safeyoutube.net. You'll paste the YouTube link. It'll generate for you an alternate, excuse me, and you can also then share that link, and you will have it'll be distraction free. So we'll take a look at that. But a couple things to share with you is that you'll be able to adjust the speed. You'll be able to do full screen viewing, sharing through a QR code. And there's also on some videos a closed caption control. So Ronlyn has identified this great video on YouTube. Let me actually make this a little smaller so that you can still see the captions, so bear with me for a quick second as I readjust my screen. Okay, here we go. So hopefully you can still see just enough so that you can also see the captions. But we have this great video that we want to show about how a tadpole transforms into a frog. And unfortunately, we have this Grammarly video. Even though Grammarly is a great tool, don't get me wrong, I don't want this to pop up, and I don't want all of this extra stuff to pop up here on my video. So what I'm going to do is that I will go to safeyoutube.net. All right, and this site will allow me to go ahead and generate my own Safe YouTube link. So I've taken the link from this video here, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it. And when I generate this link, then you see that it has created a safe link that I can now share with my students. So I could take this link and share it with them any way that I do. I could also share it through a QR code, through these different social media options if I needed to. All right, let's take a look and see what this looks like. So let me just go ahead and copy this and paste it. So we'll pretend that we send it to my students. Oh my goodness, look at this, so much better. Wow, look at that. So I don't have any of the distracting stuff on the side. I also have the option, I can speed it up, slow it down, I can make it big screen. So this is so much better. And if that went kind of fast, don't worry, because we are going to post the video recording of this session, as well as the links to our presentation on our remote teaching site, so you can always go back if it went by a little quickly. So that is the first one. That is safeyoutube.net. What a great tool. All right, so the second one is a Chrome extension. So YouTube, the Fulfill Chrome extension. And with this one, it allows you to generate a video that displays displays in full screen mode. We have no ads with it, no links, no comments. All right. So for our Chrome extension power users, or for anyone who might want to give this a shot, if you have not used Google Chrome extensions, then it's very it's pretty straightforward. So going back into a window, so let me just kind of X out of all this stuff, just go straight to Google so that we can pretend like we're starting from scratch. Google.com. There we go. All right. So in order to access Chrome extensions, and there are so many of them, they can transform what you're doing. It's really cool. There's so many Chrome extensions. You probably see all of these on the top bar of my screen. They all do something different that help me become a Google Chrome power user. So it's very simple to access the Chrome Web Store. You just literally type in the words Chrome Web Store into a Google search. And then the very first hit that comes back to you, chrome.google.com web store, I can just click on that link. And here we go, Chrome Web Store. You see all of these great extensions that they have suggested for us that can help us do a lot of really cool stuff, like Screencastify, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So spoiler alert on that. But there's a lot of really cool extensions that you can find here in the Chrome Web Store. Also, Share the Classroom is another good one. But what we are interested in today is YouTube Fulfill. Okay, so when I search for that, you see that I've already added it to my account. But let's look at this next one. You see how it has this button, Add to Chrome? The very first time that I added this, the only time I've added this, and I clicked the Add to Chrome button, and it's literally like 3 clicks. Add to Chrome, yes, and then boom, it does its thing. So I added my YouTube video, okay? So let me now go back into the video that we had before. So it was this one, okay?
It's not that easy.
Oh, there goes our good friend Grammarly again. But now we have the power of YouTube Fulfill. I believe that this is the one. No, wait, is that it? I have way too many Chrome extensions, everyone. So bear with me for a quick second. So let's see, it's one of these here. YouTube, okay. YouTube fulfill. Okay, so that was the one. Okay, so this is the one right here. So, okay, so experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties right here, but let me see. I might need to skip forward into the actual contents of it. Let's see.
This sentence is grammatically correct.
Okay. Okay, so we're experiencing just a slight bit of technical difficulty here with our with this extension. So the one thing about technology, as you all know, it is great when it works, but sometimes when it comes to Chrome extensions and things of that nature, sometimes they do updates in the background and, you know, things become unresponsive. We just had that issue with the one right next to it, Google Meet Grid View yesterday. Between the day before yesterday and yesterday, they had to update it and you had to take it out and put it back in. But never fear, because there is a third way. So let's take a look here at our next one, adding YouTube videos to Google Classroom. Okay. Oh, and before we move on, let me just say that for this one, I would check back on it because sometimes, you know, as stated, things are being updated in the background. So it's quite possible they're running off an old version that they need to update. So we will check back on that in a later session. But this one is my absolute favorite because it integrates with Google Classroom, which is a tool that we are already using. We already know it. And this is just super easy. So you can add videos through Classroom. You could send it to one classroom or several classrooms. And in this, when you add a video to your Google Classroom through its native feature, then it automatically removes the ads, comments, and recommended videos. So all you have to do is choose where to post and select, you know, you write your post and you select YouTube. Then you just search for and select the video that you want. And lastly, you post the video. So let's see that in action. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab. Forgive me for the delay, slight delay, but hopefully you'll be as amazed as I am when we see this in action. So classroom.google.com, okay? And then here we just go to our sample classroom. And I can share a post, okay? So I select whatever classroom or classrooms I wanted to go to from my drop-down list. I can select my students, and then I will type in a message. Here is our video on tadpoles. Now at the bottom, and you've probably already seen this, when you click on add, then YouTube is an option. And I can just search for tadpole metamorphosis. That's a mouthful to say, even more of a handful to type. So I'm searching for it. And here's my video, lo and behold. So I can just go ahead, click on it and add it. And then I can post it to my class. And just like that, then we have it. Ronlyn did one earlier today. And you see how it opens here. And we just have the video by itself. And that's it. We don't have all of the extra stuff on the side. So that is yet and still a third way to add videos to your Google Classroom. All right. So all of that being said, we're going to shift gears for a quick second and talk about closeout for the end of the year, because it is upon us. It's hard to believe, but it's only a couple short weeks away. So in terms of closeout for the end of the year, many of you have been creating videos for your students of lessons with Screencastify. So when you go to our remote teaching website and you click on the presentation, the first link will take you into a doc that tells you how to publish a YouTube video with Screencastify. Now, if I were to create a Screencastify, so let me just click on my extension here. All right. So I will just go ahead, and this video means absolutely nothing, but I'm going to go ahead and record a very short one. So now it's recording my screen. Yay. All right. So good enough. So I'm going to stop the recording. And from here, we see that we have created our Screencastify. Now I need to move a couple things out of the way. But some of the options that we have to share them, you could share it to Classroom, or you could publish it to YouTube. And this is a good thing to keep in mind, so that you might want to consider moving your videos to YouTube so that you have them very quickly and easily available to you for next year. Okay, so that is one thing. I can, once I've created a channel like Marianne showed you how to do, then I can just click that publish to YouTube button, select my drop down for my visibility, and then I can add a little description, test, and then I would just click on upload, and there we go. It would be there on my YouTube channel. Now, one thing I neglected to do that I should call to your attention is that first I should have renamed it. So very easy to do. I just click on the title, and now when I renamed it, then it will take on the name of that video in YouTube. So very easy for me to publish video to YouTube from Screencastify. So this is really cool. Another application that you could think of for this is perhaps you wanted to record something for the parents of your students, and you wanted to publish that to YouTube with an unlisted link. Then this makes it super easy for you to do. So love that integration within Screencastify. In addition, created a tutorial here about how to move videos to YouTube. So I saw in the comments a little earlier, someone was asking about downloading videos on your computer. So I'm guessing once you've created the videos. So what can you do with those videos once they're there in your computer? You can move them to YouTube. So Marianne showed you a little bit about how you can add a video to YouTube. We have created a tutorial for you. So if you ever need to go step by step, then we have an interactive tutorial for you on how you can do that. But I'm going to walk you through very easily. So here in the window, I saw a comment come through about Screencastify. And if you go to our remote teaching website, let me just address the question really quickly before I go further. So if you go to our remote teaching website and look for Screencastify, then there is a promo code that will give you more than 5 minutes in Screencastify for the time being. So definitely check that out if you are a Screencastify user. I have not done so, as you can tell from my 5-minute limit, but if you apply the promo code, then that should take that right off for you. All right, so now switching gears back, I'm going to go to YouTube. And when I'm here, if I want to upload a video, then what I can do is I will just look for this camera icon that says create and upload video. And when I do, it will walk me through a series of different steps. So I can just find a video that I want. So I'll select a file, random file. Let's see here. Okay, so I select my video and it is now currently uploading. So I'll put a title in. I think I did that backwards. If you're a podcast listener, by the way, please check out our podcast, One-on-One with One-to-One, which is available online. So the quick plug for that. But I can then go in and put in my description. This is the April episode. Okay. I am able to put in a thumbnail I would like, or not. It could auto generate one. In addition, I can put it on a playlist. And then, and Marianne already took you through this, but this is just kind of a refresher. So I would say, no, it's not made for kids. So that if I wanted to add it to my playlist, and then I can add in an end screen if I want. I could add in cards if I want. And lastly, I can set the visibility. So I'm going to leave this on private. And I don't think I'm going to actually save it. But there you go. You can upload videos in that way. And I believe you can also upload multiple videos at a time. As long as you use the Chrome browser, then you can just drag and drop them from your computer. All right. So that in itself is how to move videos to YouTube. So at this point, I'm going to stay on as the navigator, but I'm going to turn it over to Jake to jump in the driver's seat with our next section.
Thanks, Sarah. So we're taking a look. Can you go back one slide? I think, Sarah, if you can refresh for me, I think we've done an update. So we're taking a look at a couple different integration ideas. So this is ways that you can provide assignments to students. So rather than integrating this as the teacher in the classroom, what are some ways that I can maximize the use of YouTube for my students? So one of my thought processes on this was kids like getting into YouTube. So that's been a struggle for teachers using devices in their classroom and at home. So what I do with my kids and what I did with kids in my classroom, I had them use the tool that they wanted to use, but use it for instructional purposes. So 3 different ideas that we have for this. The first one, get them to respond to a discussion prompt. So whatever the prompt is, have them locate 5 YouTube videos in response to the prompt. Why do they support the position? Then give details in the description of the playlist. There are 5,000 characters allowed in the description of the playlist that you create. And then you can give additional details to support that information. So if we take a look at the very first example, we can take a look at that. This writing prompt was, what will life be like in 50 years? This YouTube playlist writing prompt asks the students to come up with 4 things that will have been invented by the year 2070. Find videos to support your ideas, create a playlist, and add your justification in the description. So in this scenario, the impetus for this is, what's life going to be like in 50 years? So at this point, students are going to go and they're going to start looking for videos to support what their mindset is. So they can use a Google Doc and draft things out. They can compile their list on a Google slide. So the example that we have, if we click that link, so it was simply a slide, students added a couple pictures, and it should take you to the actual playlist that was created. So in the playlist, you'll notice on the right-hand side, the videos that were selected in the rubric that was created for this. Keep your videos under 4 minutes in length. So it refined down how fine they were to find them. They had to find things about automobiles. They had to find things about homes. And then they got to choose. So they did sports and they did fashion. On the left-hand side, it starts out with, in 2050, lots of things will be different. That is the description for the playlist. So from an instructional standpoint, this is the rubric that or the narrative that I wanted students to complete. So they would explain what each one of the videos represented, why they were being put in place, and how they supported their mindset for what was there. So in this instance, students are going and finding videos to be supporting details. So in a way, it's the visual representation of a writing prompt, identify what your topic is, and then grab supporting videos to support your idea. Depending on how detailed you want to get, depends on how much information you want from your students. So in this example, students created a slide, they added their playlist to that as a link, and then the description had all of their detailed information. So the next playlist that we have is the travel playlist. So on this one, we're going to ask students to plan summer vacation. This year might be a little more unique. Where are you going? Why are you going? And then select your driving or flying song list. So for this one, what songs did they add? So what are the songs? What's the soundtrack that you're going to have for your trip? How do they tell the journey? Explain the places along the way. So if I was looking at just the playlist and listening to the music, what is that going to tell me? And then give a written description for each one. It's the sun, Sarah. Thanks. So for this one, it's summer vacation. I'll be driving from Delaware to DC. I'm going to pick up my friends. Then we're going to head to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're going to take a look at the Heinz Ketchup Museum. There, we're going to go to Chicago. Go to Soldier Field, where the Chicago Bears played. We'll look at Cloud Gate, which is a really cool bean-shaped mirror. We'll have dinner. We'll go to Knoxville, Tennessee to see my mom. Stretch the vacation for the last piece, and we'll go to Virginia Beach, spend some time there. And then you'll notice that the description in the explanation, each of the songs represents a part of the trip we're taking. And then you take a look at the songs that are on the list. So each one has to be represented in the description that was given for the written prompt. Again, you have 5,000 characters to play with in the description piece. So we started with Go-Go's Vacation, going way back. You've got a friend in me because you're picking up your friends. Then you go Walking in Pittsburgh. It's a remake on Walking in Memphis. You've got Chicago Bears, Super Bowl Shuffle, Frank Sinatra for Chicago. We've got a song about mom, then the Beach Boys for Good Vibrations. The idea behind this, when I worked with a couple different students on this activity, part of the idea is they had to defend what they came up with. So it wasn't just, hey, these are really good songs that I like and they're great summer songs. It was, how does that song tell the story of your trip and why? So it could have been the artist, it could have been the title, but the decision and the discussion on it was the part that we were going for. This is the medium for them to do their thinking. Then the last example we have is based on themes. So this one's going to be a little bit different. So we read The Outsiders in class. We did a little bit of Shakespeare in class. So we wanted to talk about what we were discussing this year in class. So maybe the theme was loyalty. Maybe the theme was family. Whatever the case may be. Remember, all of these are going to be tied to something that you've already talked about in class. So identify themes from literature and how are they explained. Select the theme or choose a book and find elements related to that theme. So the idea is to find a topic that you want to cover and then find those elements that would support it. So the playlist for this one on themes is a little more abstract because it's just about themes and literature. So we have King Lear, Shakespearean themes, Sophocles, another with Shakespeare, Macbeth, Odyssey, Outsiders. The idea would be students would identify how they would build that out. So what were the themes? Why were they themes? And it could be supporting information for a written assignment that you wanted to have them do. So one of the biggest struggles that you will run into, and just to be aware of, and I know that they talked about this earlier, is when you go to build a playlist for a student, or if students go to build playlists, they have to make sure that the videos that they're finding are not designed specifically for kids. If the playlists that already exist were designed for kids, then they can't use them as a playlist. So make sure that when you're assigning these, think outside of the box in terms of what they're going to be searching for and how they're going to be developing the playlist for their students. So 3 different ways to integrate from the student perspective. So instead of building this for my students, this is giving the assignment to students and then having them build that idea. Discussion prompt is a great one for them to find. Travel playlist where they're finding music, I think, is another great one to find. Themes, it could have been something even more specific that you wanted them to find and locate and then build from there. So our next section that we want to make sure that you have time to take a look at, there's 3 different resources here that we wanted to make sure that you had access to. The first one is Google YouTube support. So in this, if you're having trouble playing your videos, if there's issues with your account, whatever this is your primary hub for just YouTube in general. So I want to take a look at things, I want to see things, I want to figure out how things can work. This is your help center for YouTube in and of itself. Lots of questions. There's discussion boards that you can tap into and ask from there. The other one, which is more geared towards us as educators, is your YouTube educational support page. So these are going to be your YouTube resources for teachers, for education, and for schools. It's going to provide you with access for staying safe online, staying safe on YouTube, talking about that YouTube digital citizenship curriculum, things of that nature on how to make sure that from an educational standpoint, that we're ensuring that everyone is safe and protected. And then the last example that we have, or the last resource we have available for you, are YouTube lesson samples. So when you take a look at this, you'll notice on the right-hand side, you can hit subscribe if you wanted to, and that would make it part of yours. So you wouldn't have to go back to this link. You would just access YouTube from your apps launcher or the Waffle, and you'd be able to take a look at some lesson samples that have already been created. So we've got some created playlists that are further down. The first one is 21st Century Classroom at Kent Meridian High School in Washington State. There's a whole playlist on vector quantities, adding vectors. Didn't teach high school math, so that one's not going to help me. But I did work with science teachers, so plate tectonics, things of that nature. There's a whole section on figurative language. So one of the things you'll want to take a look at as you're going through this resource, there's a couple things to look at. At the top, you've got home, you've got videos, you've got playlist, community, channels for you to go ahead and take a look at. So if I looked at, say, playlists, I could go through and take a look at playlists that have been created by other people and take a look and see, are these good for me to use? There's songs of the Civil War, kindergarten counting objects, and one-to-one correspondence. There's a whole section on kindergarten geometry. So the idea behind this is if I went to, say, the kindergarten geometry and I clicked on play all or view playlist, I can take a look at what that section is on. You'll notice that all of the videos are relatively short. So a lot of these look like they're pulled from Sesame Street. So 1 minute to 2 minutes in length. There's a couple that are a little bit longer, but they give you a bunch of different ideas. So you've got hexagon, it's hip to be square. Then you get further down, you've got how to make geometric shapes for wall decorations. So playlists that were created by other teachers for you to have access to, and then you can take any of the videos from here, add them to your own playlist for how and what you're building within your classroom. In particular for remote teaching, sometimes adding the quick short videos that have already been created that you've looked at and verified that they work for you makes a lot better sense than having to recreate everything on your own. So our contact information is on the last slide for Clarissa, Ronlyn, Marianne, myself, and Sarah. The bit.ly PGCPS remote teaching is the hub for where you're going to find all of the information. But if you have any other questions, I'll pause and let my colleagues unmute. And if there's questions that have come up that we can answer, we'll answer those now. Go ahead and throw those in the chat if we haven't touched on them. Anyone on the team that wants to add anything? If your name says teacher account on your list, you will need to make sure you do the missing attendance. That way you get credit for today. That's part of your WebEx sign in is why you're getting teacher account. No, if your name shows up correctly, you do not need to complete the missing attendance. That's only if it comes up as teacher account user, or if you had to sign in using not your PGCPS account. This presentation will get posted later this week. It will have the recording, and then sometime later this week, we'll have the slide deck presentation will get posted as well. WebEx takes a little bit of time to process. I believe the promo code is on the Screencastify site. So if you go to the bit.ly PGCPS remote teaching and check Screencastify, the code should be listed there. And go ahead.
I put the link in the chat for to go straight to it on our remote teaching site for Screencastify information. And just a reminder that the code, I can't remember the exact code, but it's on there, but make sure it's in all caps. Type it in. That's all.
All right, thanks everyone. If you have any more specific questions, in particular, see a lot of these about Screencastify, go and check the Screencastify link at the remote teaching site. The information will be there. Marianne just posted the code and directions again. As we move forward, in terms of which class platforms are available for summer classes, a lot of that is changing because the resources are changing how long they're allowing things to go for. So for the time being, I would go with the things that we know have been free or are currently free or in their modified version. And then keep going back and checking with the remote teaching site because we'll keep things updated there for the most current resources that we're able to make available to you.